Here we go, and we're live. Yes, yes. Welcome to the Kojo Show. First episode, the pilot, the podcast where one friend who had dreams of being a professional footballer dashed away as a child when he discovered food, have his say on the Premier League. I'm joking. It's not going to be Premier League. This is obviously a United platform, but it will be more than United. It will be La Liga, Serie A. Everything's going to run through here. But today we start with our club, dear to our heart, the one and only Man United. And I have three brothers with me. And the first one is obviously the man that runs the whole YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? You have to bring it through to the first one. I'm saying, Usmaan, family, what are you saying, brother?
I'm good, man. I tried my best to get out of it, man, with the rope me in. I'm good, man. Honest to God, I'm just overjoyed that Kojo is hosting the show, man. Me and Kojo have been doing this since day one alongside Benji. Obviously, shout out to him as well. But yeah, it's an absolute honor to have you on as a host, man. It really is, man. My guy.
Bro, love for giving me the platform. And with that, someone else that gave me a platform on his channel not too long ago give me an interview, made me feel like flipping Rene Mullenstein, even though I'm just Kojo in East London. But you know what I'm saying? Abdi, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. Like, listen, man, that interview was very good to speak with you and to get to know you. I've had a lot of good feedback about that. So this show, I'm really looking forward to see how it goes. Everyone is there 7 p.m. guys. Make sure that you tune in. You know, this is where everything's gonna happen.
I appreciate that, bro. And finally, last but not least, you know what it is, yeah? Every time he's been on Usmaan Talks United, I've just seen his profile picture, but I know behind that profile picture is a buff guy, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know he's wang, but he's trying to hide it. Or he's trying to hide it. Let the girl them calm down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Useless. What are you saying, bro?
Real suspense.
Thanks for the kind words, man. I appreciate it. It's a privilege to be here with you guys, and yeah, thanks so much, man, for letting me be here.
No worries. Well, we're going to start with our team today, Man United, who unfortunately lost 2-1 at home to Leicester yesterday. A certain fan base were upset about that. We're going to get to that team real soon. But, you know, me and Usmaan spoke about this yesterday, but haven't heard from Abdi regarding his thoughts about the 2-1 loss at home to Leicester. Much change side. The 11 was very different to what we usually get. But looking back on that result, how do you feel about the game and how it went?
Yeah, first of all, you know, when United lose any game, it doesn't matter what the consequences are. It doesn't matter what the result is going to be. If United lose any game, I'm never going to be happy about that. And, you know, when Greenwood scored that goal, you know, I celebrated like, you know, because even though it looked like an impossible mission, where there's a way, where there's a will, there's a way. So I was just thinking, like, you know what, don't give up. You know, City, as unlikely as it sounds, maybe there is a chance for us of winning it. Who knows? So I really wanted us to go for it and these last 5 games and actually give it all and then say, yeah, at least, you know, we did something, we tried, yeah. But obviously I can understand why Oli had to do what he did, because there's no way that he could have fielded that same team again against Leicester City and then go again with that same team against Liverpool. So there is a reason why these big clubs have big squads, and that's to rotate. And I believe that, you know, players like Elanga have, you know, he's shown, and Amad Diallo has really shown why, you know, he should be picked ahead of players like Daniel James, because I like the way Diallo played that game. Greenwood, again, continuing that tremendous form that he's on. You know, Matic, who had an excellent first half. I thought that he played very well. But the one thing I don't like about Matic is every time that his contract is about to finish or will go to that transfer window, he starts to play well. And he plays with all his mind a little bit. And he makes all his doubts like, oh, I might not need a defensive midfielder because I have Matic with me. But, you know, I think the priority now has to be, since we gave Cavani a new contract, to sign a defensive midfielder and a right winger. So, you know, I'm not going to mention his name, but you guys know who I want as a right winger for next season. But if we can bring in a defensive midfielder, that would be great. And players that I was expecting for them to take their chances, like the likes of Brandon Williams, he really didn't come through. I don't know what's going on with that kid. Maybe he just needs to go out on a loan or something like that. But something is not right with him. I thought Tellers played all right. I think this was one of his better games for United. And Tuanzebe had a very, very good game. So overall, I thought the individual performances, given that they haven't played that much this season, have actually played very well this game. So not much to complain about that.
Yusuf, following on what Abdi just said there, but I'll ask you this: is it a case of someone like Brandon Williams not playing well because he just hasn't got any minutes since I think July, or is it a case of he's just not good enough?
Yeah. Firstly, everything that Abdi said. I mean, I feel like it's my mind because everything that he said, I said the same thing yesterday. Actually, basically the same thing. But yeah, Brandon Williams. I think it's a bit of both. And you can never sort of, you know how certain players they can develop obviously later on. Like some people have a difficult start to their career. I always remember Victor Moses at Chelsea. I know this is a completely different parallel, but I remember he was written off on loan, and then Antonio Conte comes in and plays him as a right wing back, and then they win the title. I'm not saying that it's the same thing with Brandon Williams. What I'm saying is that I never want to be too quick to sort of, oh yeah, he's not good enough, if that makes sense. I think that he's a young guy trying to find his trade, but to give a simple answer, yeah, I don't believe that he is good enough. And it's, yeah, as I said, it's a combination of you know what it is? He's a right-footed right back, but it's almost as if he's probably more comfortable on the left-hand side, if that makes sense. I feel like he probably wants to cut back in on his right and kind of go in field rather than, because when he's on the right-hand side, I always feel like it's either going to go out of play or he doesn't find. He was trying to find who was playing in front of him. Was it Ahmad?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it was almost as if like there wasn't really that understanding, which is strange because they've in the under 23s they've played together exactly the same. Solskjaer's put him in front of him, so I don't know if that was done on purpose or. Yeah, I know I've gone on a little bit, but my point is that I don't think he's. I think he's fortunate. I said yesterday he's fortunate because other players got injured, and he was allowed to be promoted to the first team squad. And I don't think that. I think next season, as Abdi said, a loan deal would really benefit his career. Yeah, definitely.
I hear that. Right, you know what? That loss happened yesterday. I don't care about it no more. Usmaan, let's go on to Liverpool. The guys that are crying because apparently it's our fault that they are one loss away from not qualifying for the Champions League despite losing 6 home games this season. One away, I will say this on every podcast platform I'm going to, one away from that derby record of 7 home losses. You are defending champions and you're this close to a record that a team that got relegated with the lowest points in Premier League history have. That's shameful. That's your fault. Usmaan, on to Thursday. Now, we've got a big game. This time it's been obviously rescheduled and that. But we're missing Harry Maguire, which is a big miss. Firstly, who replaces him? Because I think we know Lindelof is starting. Who replaces him, and how would you approach that game, knowing that we've lost our biggest aerial presence in the defense?
Yeah, first and foremost, to be fair to Liverpool, it is our fault that they lost to Fulham and Burnley at home. It's definitely our fault. Like,
I agree.
We massively affected those results. Honestly, they're an absolute shambles of a fan base. Klopp actually came out and defended Ollie, so fair play to him. But to answer your question, I've seen someone put Matic in the chat. I don't know if you've seen that.
So Matic at centre back.
Yeah,
composed, experience, and distribution is superior to Axel and Bailly. What's your take on that?
For me, it's a no-brainer. Lindelof and Bailly have to start. A lot of people have been crying out for that as a partnership. People have been saying Maguire's not the guy. I think I've kind of fallen into that category as well. I'm intrigued to see how Bailly and Lindelof will get on together. Liverpool don't particularly have a massive presence, aerial threat, so to speak. You could probably make a case for like Phillips or Fabinho from set pieces, but apart from them two, there's not really anyone that's going to cause us any problem, or shouldn't cause us, let me rephrase that, shouldn't cause us any problems in the air. I know Mane has got a couple of headed goals here and there, but yeah, I think Bailly has to start. Bailly against the pace anyways would be a perfect fit for this game, even if Maguire was fit. I know that would never happen, but I think Bailly and Lindelof should be able to do the job.
And we'll go to Abdi on this one. So I'll say Liverpool as well. Liverpool are missing Kabak, who has obviously made himself sort of like a mainstay, whilst the other two are out injured. Milner's missing for this game as well. Ben Davies, which is another very, very awful Ben Davies. You got Tottenham's one, you got Preston/Liverpool's Ben Davies.
Has he even played the game?
I don't think he I think he might have played.
He came in January. I don't think he's played, has he?
Well, I guess not. So that's a waste of money.
They'll carry on to the injury list, right? Because obviously he's so influential and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah. They definitely would have been fourth with Ben Davies at centre back, absolutely. So Abdi, knowing that Kabak is out, how important is it that we approach the defense?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I have to say, in a season where Klopp spent game after game after game just making excuses and excuses, we lost because the wind was too much. We lost because of, we don't have Van Dijk. This team has been making excuses from day one. Their fan base has been shambles this season. I'm in a group chat with so many Liverpool fans, and the excuses that they were coming up with, I'm thinking like, yo, listen, yes, you lose Van Dijk, but your team, your club have to take the blame here because at the end of the day, they got rid of Lovren, who was one of their good centre backs, and they thought they could just get away with playing Fabinho and having Thiago in midfield. Well, that didn't work out. As much as I respect Thiago, I don't think it has worked out yet in the Premier League. Maybe it's going to take him a bit of time. Maybe if they play with Fabinho and Henderson. So, but anyway, I digress. If I come back to this point of Liverpool fans making us the excuse of them missing out on the top four, I'm not surprised because they've been doing all season. They've been blaming everything apart from the manager and the club, which was managed in a completely shambolic way this season. So I have to say that, and I have to say well done to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for the way he has sorted this team. Yeah, because of this pandemic market that we're in right now. You look into the season that we have. It's a COVID season. We are playing a game every 3 days, bro. Think about that. We haven't had a week off. Maybe like the game before Leeds United. That was the only week that we were off. Apart from that, we played every single 3 days. We played a game, and it takes a good manager to manage that squad perfectly. Well, not perfectly into the in terms of like for example, a Pep Guardiola, but I think he managed it well. So you have to give him credit for that. Now, in terms of us and Maguire, I have to say this: Maguire has to see what Maguire is doing right now makes me very, very happy because I was one of the people that have backed him from day one, and I continue with backing him and again and again. And I always used to say,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
honestly, like there's so many guys that I'm in a group chat with, and I always used to say, this is the example that they use. They used to use just to tease me. They used to say the English meta soccer, and that really used to piss me off, man. So to see him doing well right now, and actually people acknowledging that, because I've always seen him the development that the improvement that he brought to the team. I've always liked it. So we obviously, like Usmaan was saying, Eric Bailly is going to come in all sorted, no problem about that. Let's just hope that he stays fit. And on top of that, we have Tuan Xavier as well. So I'm not worried about that at all. But I have to say, I'm happy to see that people are acknowledging Maguire finally.
Yeah, I can't lie. Me personally,
Yeah, Kojo definitely hasn't been on that shit.
me personally, yeah, the archives are there, innit? If you want to go see what I'll say about that guy.
Do you know why? Yeah? Do you know what? Sorry.
Yeah.
When the only times that where I was seeing him having bad games was at the start of the season, and that was at the back of that Greek incident. That was for me outside his control. Like mentally he wasn't there. Maybe if Alex Ferguson was in charge, maybe someone with a bit more experience, he would have taken him to a side. You never know. So yeah, but I like Maguire a lot, man. I like him.
Oh, I can tell you love him. But you gave a round of applause to Ole, and I think he deserves a round of applause for this season. Might you be Ole in?
What was that?
Are you Ole in?
Me, I've been Ole in from day one, bro. I've been Ole in from day one. Not in terms of us like winning titles, because I didn't think that we were gonna be where we are right now this quickly this season. But I thought because of who we have as our owners, they don't know anything about how to run Man United. But Ole knows how to run the club. So I thought for just stability, just a little bit of stability, I'm gonna be Ole in for 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons, and then I'll see how I'm after that. And yeah, the progress has been for me. It has been quick. I was expecting what we're doing this season, next season. That's what I was expecting. But yeah,
Usmaan, are you Ole in?
I know what I do. You surprised me slightly with Ali. Supposed to put Ali in and Maguire. Look, this is a first. Look, to be honest, I hear what you're saying in terms of progress, because there's definitely been progress. I don't think any United fan who's not got a secret agenda can deny that there hasn't been progress. There has been somewhat progress. But for me personally, Oli has to win a trophy. And if he doesn't win a trophy, he won't get sacked at the end of the season, but I would have sacked him if Nagelsmann's still available, but he's not now, so it's a bit too late. I just don't think, you just said it yourself, I just don't think Ollie's going to win as the Premier League. or the Champions League. You know, for me personally, it's watching Man City win the league 3 times out of 4 years, and the other time that they haven't won it is Liverpool's won it. Like Manchester City against Chelsea in the final of the, Champions League. I know we're in the Europa League, but I just think Ollie's not going to get us to those levels, man. And I just think we have quality players here. We're missing like 3-4 players. You know, the guys in the chat are talking about Sancho. You know, we're a couple of additions away. Ollie does deserve that time, but is he that guy? Is he that guy that's going to get us to the title? That's what I want. He's brought us close enough. Fair play to him. But I just don't think he could take us to the title personally, but that's just me.
I want to hear Yusuf's thoughts on Ollie as well, actually, before we get into team selections and tactics. But Yusuf, have you been on Ollie's side all the time, or have you been up and down with him? What's your situation with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
I've been pretty supportive of him right from the start. There was a moment when I was really concerned. Do you remember before the Everton away match earlier in the season?
Oh yeah,
which we ended up winning.
I wanted him sacked that day.
I was convinced that we were going to lose that game. Obviously, he was bailed out by Bruno. Surprise, surprise. But if he was sacked after that match, I don't think I would have been upset at the time. But I'm glad actually that they stuck by him, because there's definitely been progress. And I hear what people are saying. I don't think any manager can come in with that same squad and beat Man City to the title. I think that Ollie needs better players still. And then you can't win a title with McFred. Like, I don't think that that's possible. And I think if Ollie had a better centre midfielder there, a better centre back, whether it's Partman and Maguire, and obviously the right winger that we all want, then I'll probably judge Ollie maybe a bit more harshly if he can't get the job done. Because when I look at the stats and what we played, 35 games, we've won 20 games out of those 35. We've drawn 10 times, we've lost 5 games, scored 68 goals. Man City scored 72. They'd conceded 20. So yeah, it's where defensively, obviously they're a lot more solid than us. Obviously, they bought Ruben Diaz, and I mean, he's been absolutely phenomenal. He's probably going to be player of the season. So honestly, we're 10 points behind. Are we that far off? I mean, to me, we are still, because when I look at the way they play, I feel, I wish we could play like that. But it's I think we have to stick by him, and hopefully he can be backed this summer, and we can get the right players in to give us a real fighting chance, hopefully next season.
Okay, well,
yeah. Sorry, Kojo, can I say something? Also, I agree with Yusuf. What I would add to that is, to challenge Man City, you need more than a squad. You need more than world-class players. You need a whole world-class setup. We don't have a world-class setup from top to bottom.
Yeah,
this club under these owners is a mess. And until Oli walked into that club and said, I don't want your Di Marias, I don't want your Sanchez. I want to go with someone like Daniel James, someone like Awan Bissaka, someone who knows what it's like to play for Man United. Because this guy played under Alex Ferguson. You have to remember that. So in terms of the club and what it needs, you look at City, you look at Liverpool, they trusted their club with people who know how to run football clubs. These guys, they trusted them with people who know how to make money for them. That's what the difference is. So I'm only in because of that stability, but we'll see after next season how it goes. Because you bring in Mourinho or Van Gaal and you don't have anything other than League Cups and Europa Leagues. We should be challenging for the Premier League and the Champions League. That's what we should be going for. But unfortunately, we're just going in circles for 8 years. And now it's the first time that we have some sort of solidity about us.
Kojo, can I quickly ask you and Usmaan something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you two believe that Ollie should have done better with this current squad in terms of do you think we should be closer to Man City with the players that we have?
I don't think we should be much closer, but what I will say is the biggest letdown for me was the group stage knockout. And because when we got the group, I'll be honest, and I said it on this platform.
Well, we encoded to a live stream together and we both said we're out.
Literally, I said we're going to be tourists. I said we're going to go to Paris, hour, enjoy ourselves of a day. But once you get into a position to qualify out of the group, you have to see it through. And I feel like the decisions of the manager at the time, i.e. PSG, Fred being on a yellow card, definitely should have been sent off before he got sent off anyway. But keeping him on was very costly. And then also not starting Pogba. I understand the whole thing with Raiola, but Raiola runs his mouth every day. The whole thing about starting Pogba at Leipzig and how defensively poor the approach was into that game, because he essentially gave Leipzig the keys to go forward and come at you. Other than that, he hasn't done much wrong. I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel he's done much wrong.
I'm gonna disagree with that last comment. He hasn't done much wrong. Just to add to what Kojo said, look, maybe I'm being too harsh on him, but this is just me. Like, I don't think, at the start of the season, my expectation, right, just to obviously give perspective, is get top 4 and win a trophy. So if he gets the Europa League, he secure top 4, potentially top 2. He's had a successful season by all means. However, I think with football is a lot of things change with circumstances. I think it depends on the situation. Look, for example, as Kojo used the Champions League example, initially I didn't think we had a right to get out of that group, but we were in a position where we shouldn't be in a position that we got kicked out, if that makes sense. So we got ourselves in a position that us getting kicked out was then deemed a failure. Prior to getting in that position, it would have been deemed a success to get out of the group. So it depends on the situation. For me, there's been a lot of games that Oli has thrown away alongside the players. The players are to blame as well, but just his tactics and his negativity, not just in selection, but in the manner in which we've approached so many games this season. And again, for whatever, he's got the results and he's got the points on the board, so you got to respect that. But I think we shouldn't be beating City to the league, but we should be closer, because we've dropped points against teams that we shouldn't drop points against. Like, for example, against Everton, we conceded the last second of the game, and people can say that's the keeper's fault, that's the Maguire fault. Of course it is. Of course it is. However, how many times this season have we conceded from set pieces? How many times? It's absolutely ridiculous. Are they doing anything on the training page that nullifies us from conceding goals from set pieces? It was like every single week we were conceding from a corner or a header. There's something going wrong in training. It's not working. Like, for example, the half zone or half man marking, it's not been working for us all season, and he's been stubborn and reluctant to change it, and it's cost us points, whether you like it or not. Against Sheffield United, we all, I think the first game, I know the beat us the second game. The first game, I believe we drew to him because McGoldrick scored from a corner. Oh, so it's just stupidness. Like, we're letting people back into the game, go for the kill. There was one game he subbed off like Pogba or Bruno Fernandes and brought on a DM and invited pressure against us. It was against Everton. He took off our only out ball. I don't know who he subbed off. It brought Matic on, or Twan Sabi, sorry. He subbed on Twan Sabi and took off our only out ball, invited pressure for the last 5-10 minutes, and we conceded from it. Like, little decisions like that cost us a lot of points this season. Should we be next to City with the squad they've got compared to us? No, we should not. But the circumstances of this season, we could have quite easily we're only 10 points off him. Now, we've dropped too many points for me personally. But against the top 6 teams, how many games have we drawn in nil? The approach against Man City, the first game we played against Man City, that Man City team was shit. They were really down in the dumps. The first time we played Chelsea, they were there for the taking. The first time we played Arsenal, they were there for the taking. We drew 0-0 to all 3 of them. Against Liverpool hadn't won a game in God knows how long. We drew 0-0 to them. And then we go for it in the cup and we beat them 3-2. Like, stuff like that, it cost us points. Look, for me personally, we shouldn't be winning the title, but you got to look back at the whole picture. He's cost us points with his decision. So, for me personally, he's done a good job. But I just think tactically he's going to get caught up in the long run, for me personally.
I hear that. All right, let's go into the game. What I want to do is I'm going to put defense against attack first, and I'm going to put our attack against the defense first, because obviously, like I said, Kabak is missing. So I am guessing it's going to be the same back 4 that started against Southampton, which they won 2-0. Which would be Trent right back. You've got Nathaniel Phillips and Reece Williams in centre back, and you've got obviously
bring it.
and Johnson at left. So, Usmaan, we'll come to you first.
Okay.
What front 3 do you think will be best to expose that backline, and why?
Right. Okay. First and foremost, there's a comment in here that I completely agree with. Ali has run Rashford into the ground, so like for me personally, I wouldn't start Rashford, which probably isn't going to be a popular opinion. The main reason being is because we need him fit for the Europa League final. Like, don't get me wrong, give him a cameo, 30 minutes or whatnot, but he can't start this game. He's gonna get injured. Like he looks like he's not fully fit. You know, he's not playing with that freedom and confidence. So for that reason, I'm not starting Rashford. I'm going Pogba left wing, because I don't think he'll ever play Pogba over McFred in this game. So Pogba starts left wing for me. Cavani up top, absolutely no brainer, and the gunman right wing. You know, I think the team almost picks itself to an extent. I don't think Rashford should start. That's just me personally, though.
Yusuf, would you change anything with that front three, or are you gonna stick with that?
Yeah, I think it's good. It feels that comment is so true. Oli has really mismanaged Marcus. I don't know why. Sometimes he just plays him, just doesn't need to play him. And I think isn't he playing with a shoulder injury and an ankle problem, right?
You subbed him on for 10 minutes against Roma when we was at 8-5 up. So like,
yeah.
Day off.
And when you have an ankle injury, and I'm sure you guys have all played football, like one run on a bad ankle that just sets you back another 2-3 weeks. I don't understand why he just like. That's why it's really, really good that Mason is playing so well right now. So I'd go Greenwood, Cavani. Oh, you said Pogba on the left wing. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, Abdi.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with that. But what I would attack is, and I try to expose the defense, because their defense is going to be very slow. So as much as you guys probably don't like him or don't rate him, I would bring Daniel James into this game. I think he can bring. Is Daniel James fit?
I feel like he's out injured.
It might be a 50-50 situation.
Because Ali surely would have played him over
too many games.
Explain why. Why do you feel? Why would you play him in this game exactly?
Yeah, I just feel like Liverpool really have to win this game. So they're gonna come attack us, and they're gonna be leaving spaces in behind. We've seen Nathaniel what's his name, Williams, how much he was exposed in the FA Cup game by Greenwood and Rashford. So if you can have someone like Greenwood and Daniel James in there, you know, I think it can work. I would definitely start Cavani, that's for sure, and I would start Paul Pogba. I would rest Greenwood in this game because he has played in the last game against Leicester City, and he has also played against Aston Villa. So I'll rest him for this game. Maybe see if we need him to try and bring him in the last few minutes or in the last 10-15 minutes, like Oli always does. You know, his changes are always late. So that's one thing that I have to criticize about him. But apart from that, I think maybe even Amad Diallo could come on. Yeah, but yeah. So Greenwood, James, Pogba, and Cavani.
Okay.
If James is fit, yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, in terms of our defense to the attack, now I'm not sure per se. They could actually do the front four, or Firmino, Jota, obviously Mane and Salah, or it could be Firmino or Jota with Mane and Salah. Now, I think I can say that we know that Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, and Luke Shaw will all return to the defense. Pretty sure Dean Henderson will return it in goal.
Yeah.
But the partner is very, very key. Now, I know the consensus will usually be Bailly, but do you think Axel Tuanzebe has any qualities that would help counter the threat of maybe Jota or Firmino being in the middle? I'll start with Yusuf.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when I saw that performance away at PSG and how he performed against arguably two out of the four best, so Messi, Ronaldo, then it's who is it? I mean, Neymar,
Lewandowski, isn't it?
Lewandowski, yeah. But I'm saying that the fact that he dealt, although in that game, Axel got all the love, and rightfully so, because obviously he'd been out for so long. But I was so excited after that match in particular, because I was like, we have Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Axel, and I thought, oh wow, we could really be onto something here. But yeah, I think Bayer will definitely play with Lindelof, but Axel is so quick. I don't know if people realize how quick he actually is. He's actually rapid. And the way Salah runs, I just worry that Bayer will give away a penalty against him. But I would play Bayer. But it's just, I think, to answer your question, I definitely think Axel could be suited to playing against, especially Sadio Mane, who I know he's not in the greatest of form, but he's a very, very good player. I mean, he's a world-class player in my opinion. Obviously, he's not been at the level this year, but he's although I was just looking at the record of the strikers against us, and Firmino has 1 in 14 against us, I think, and Mane has 1 in 1 in 10.
Tomorrow.
It's like Raheem Sterling. Sterling. It's like, yeah. I think Salah. I think he's the only one that's been scoring against us sort of consistently recently. I know he was on a bit of a drought. I think at one point.
Yeah, it was.
But I think I remember. Yeah. So yeah, I just hope that we keep them out. But yeah.
Big Ron is a bit. Says, can we stop citing the PSG? It was only last year. How many times he got roasted by 36-year-old Demba Ba? That's not a day I'm trying to remember, Big Ron. Believe me.
Yeah, he did have a bad game against Demba Ba, as did Maguire, but I don't know what.
But it is football. I mean, not everyone's going to have a top performance. I've seen Messi drop a stinker against Rubik Kazan and then destroy Real Madrid pretty much every year. Yeah. So it can happen. But Abdi.
Yes.
Same question to you, but in terms of Liverpool, I'm actually from the Liverpool side, actually.
Yeah.
Who would you target the most in our defense and why?
Out of their defense, just definitely the 2 centre backs, but you have to go Alexander-Arnold. I don't think that he's good defensively, so you have to make sure that just keep going at him. If Vinicius Junior can score goals against him, and it just exposes him that much and make him look like Ronaldinho or prime Robinho, then Paul Pogba has to make sure that he gets exposed. So just keep going on that right-hand side. And we all know that Robertson likes to pump forward a lot. This season he hasn't been himself this season. So if he gets forward, make sure that, like I said, if Danny James is playing, just getting behind. And also, what I liked about Amad Diallo in the last game was he kept getting behind a lot. And that is something that I'm really excited about. So if Amad Diallo plays this game, there is a doubt that he will, because I don't think Ole is going to play him 2 games in a row. But if he plays, he can get in behind very, very easily. So I'm excited about that.
And who do you think, if you were coming from Liverpool side, obviously our centre-backs you mentioned, but if there's one individual in our defence who you could trouble the most?
That's a simple one. If I'm an opposition if I'm opposition forward and I look at the team sheet and I see Lindelof, I'm going at him. Victor Lindelof, man. The guy is our weakest link. Honestly, he's good with the ball, and we've seen the pass that he made to Rashford against Sheffield United away, and also against Real Sociedad away. That was very good. But off the ball, I mean, when he's defending, it's not good, man. It's not good. So I would definitely go at Lindelof. Yeah.
Okay. Usmaan, I'll ask you this question then. Why do people feel so iffy about Lindelof? Because you know me, I love him. That's my Iceman, you know what I'm saying? That's my Iceman. But really and truly, I do understand. Yeah, go on.
Oh God, man. What was the goal that we just conceded? Who was it against? Was it
Villa.
Villa. What
is he doing?
Yeah.
Like he does that all the time. I was saying on the watch along, like if that was Wan-Bissaka, bro, he's sliding, he's winning the ball, and he's taking the man out. I was like, bro, you're a defender, man. You can't do stuff. He gets bullied too easily. And he has good games though. He has very good games, and he has like a period of good form. And then he just has these tendencies that he's too weak. And as a defender, you can't be weak, man. It's gotta be the opposite. Like Fofana for Leicester, I've been massively impressed with him. Like he's come in, you would kind of like you would look at his stature and you wouldn't think he's quite strong, but he very rarely gets bullied off the ball. Like very rarely. Like, and it's like that's what you need. He's quick, covers the ground well. Like he's like a beater Varane to an extent. Like I think Fofana is the kind of guy we need next to Maguire. Like he covers all bases, man. I think he's got a lot about him. Young lad as well, so he's got energy about him. But in terms of Lindelof, man, it's just he's poor in the air as well. I haven't forgot about that. He's a bit he can get bullied in the air as he did against West Brom. Admittedly, that was the foul. The guy almost took his eyes out. But yeah, he's got too many issues. Just to answer the question you gave to Abdi, I actually don't think Lindelof's going to be the problem. If you actually go back to the 3-2 game that we beat them, that game could have went either way if they took their chances. But our issue is we keep getting violated on the wings because of the overloads that Liverpool were creating. especially when they're pushing the fullbacks forward. There was that ball that someone would have it in the centre where the D is roughly, and then play that Mane would be tucked in or Salah would be tucked in, and they play to the fullback who was in acres of space because our wingers don't track back. Like Rashford doesn't predominantly track back. He does, but Greenwood doesn't really track back. Like Greenwood was, Ahmad was kind of at fault for their Leicester's goal because he didn't track his run because Williams tucked in, and Ahmad wasn't there because that's inexperience, isn't it? But I think that's going to be the issue for us. Like their overloads on the wings. It's going to be the major problem.
And we'll just do the midfield battle as well before we get to our score predictions. So I think we all know who's starting. The affectionate Scotsman and Brazilian teammates alongside Bruno Fernandes. Usmaan Ray looks stressed. Abdi shaking his head. Yusuf, how you feeling about that midfield? Because I guess it's going to be Fabinho. Thiago Silva is definitely starting, but maybe Wijnaldum possibly because Milner's injured, so it could be Wijnaldum. And Keita's injured as well, so it could be Wijnaldum or
when is he fit?
Yeah, or Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah, when is he fit?
Bloody hell, is he still playing for them?
It definitely won't be Oxlade-Chamberlain. Shout out to Chamberlain, by the way, he's about to become a father. Shout out to him as well.
Congratulations.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, so we'll go with Wijnaldum. So in that midfield battle, who is the most important player to close down? Because two of them are elite passers, and one of them poses some level of threat in Wijnaldum per se.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think Wijnaldum is the biggest threat out of the three. Personally, I know Fabinho is a great shield of the defense. He's the Fernandinho of Liverpool. That the player that we are so desperate to have. And I'm a huge Thiago fan. Well, at least I was when he was playing for Bayern Munich and previously Barcelona. He's not the same player. I know it's the first season, so I mean he can be forgiven. But for me, it's Wijnaldum. I know earlier Abdi was talking about the weak link of Lindelof, and I agree to an extent. But I think the weakest link is McTominay. He gets pulled left and right. He leaves Fred isolated on his own. Fred gets all the hate. When I see the fan base, and Fred gets a lot of, he's not good enough on the ball. But Fred covers so much ground. But McTominay, even in the goal the goal that we conceded, I know Lindelof ultimately was the one that cost us, but I see Fred was getting the blame. But he gave the ball was there for McTominay. McTominay was too afraid.
McTominay bottled that 50-50.
And he consistently does this, and he just gets away with it because he's a guy from our academy. And Fred is Brazilian and £47 million. I don't want to go down that route, but it's true. He'll always be forgiven because he's come from our academy. And for someone who's 6'3", he's a massive guy. McTominay, I see him get knocked off the ball consistently. And you know what? It's strange that I'm saying this. I actually like Scott McTominay as a player, but it's a great comment. And I think that he's very, very fortunate. I often hear that, we get the CDM and it's the end of McFred. It's the end of McTominay. But because whilst Solskjaer's manager, it's the end of McTominay. If we had a better manager, it would not be the end of Fred. Pep Guardiola wanted to sign Fred. If Fred played for Man City, he'd be 10 times better. It's because he plays for Man United. He's not as effective. He's getting better now, 18 months on, 20 months later than when he first arrived. And he should be doing better, especially on the ball. But for me, McTominay, I know they have a good record when they start, but I would love to see Bruno, Pogba, and Fred every game. That's my chosen midfield every game. Do you remember we lost to Sevilla last year?
Yeah.
I don't want to bring it up, but we battered Sevilla. We just didn't take the chances.
Yeah.
Fred in that game, Fred was outstanding in that game because he was next to Bruno and Pogba. And I know we're playing Pogba on the left at the moment. He's playing well. He's one of the world's best number sixes, in my opinion. And he doesn't have N'Golo Kante next to him. If only we had a play like that. But Fred's the closest thing we're going to get to a guy who can get around the ground. And I'm not the CEO of Fred, but I just don't like to see the hate that he gets. And McTominay, I always see he gets away with it a lot. I think McTominay is our weak link, especially tomorrow.
United way, that's Wes. Just I want you to explain what his strengths are because that's interesting. That's a genuine question, by the way.
I can take this. Obviously, I'm probably the only person that actually defends Scott McTominay. Actually,
you can add me on that one.
Oh yeah, but there we go.
Look at that, McTominay stands. I like it.
For me personally, right? It's always come back to I don't want to criticize Oli on this because it's not on Oli, but I feel like. And I think Dan James falls under this category as well. You can't criticize a player that shouldn't be starting week in, week out. Like, They meant to be squad players. Like McTominay is meant to be a squad player. Ollie's forcing him to play week in, week out.
Yes.
And the reason he's forcing him to play, which I'll come to his strength, his physicality, quite clearly. He does have good energy. He has good engine on him as well. He gets about the pitch. His intelligence is what is letting him down. In the examples that Yusuf has referred to, where he's leaving Fred in a position that he's coming to his ground, that's because his IQ isn't there. I think when McTominay has a bit more license to join the attack, he actually looks like a half a decent player. Like, against Leeds in particular, he had a very good game. In other games, especially in the Europa League / Champions League, when we were in there, when he's had a license to join the attack, he's looked okay going forward. Like, he offers quite a bit. He's got a very good shot on him as well. He scored quite a lot of, decent goals for us as well. But he's just not a starter week in, week out. He should never be a starter for Man United. If we want to, be, the upper echelon, so to speak. He's a good squad player. He's basically like a poor man's Fletcher, and basically is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I hear that. All right then. So if we were to sign, like, for example, Declan Rice, because that's the name that everyone wants to throw about, that means we're all saying that out of the two, Scott McTominay would definitely be the disposable one, and it would be maybe a midfield of Declan, Pogba. No, I say Fred and Bruno. Is that what we're saying around here? Abdi, would you agree with that?
To be honest with you, I can, first of all, I echo everything that Usmaan has said about McTominay. I think, and also I agree with the United way he said, driving into the box, and he has a clean strike on him. I think that's fair enough. Is a good description of the qualities of Scott McTominay. But on Fred, Yusuf, I can see where you're coming from about him. He does have that energy about him, but I'm thinking, like, when your defensive midfielder has the ball, especially you look at the goal that we conceded against Leicester City, the FA Cup, you can't be doing that with the ball. Surely you can't be going back to Maguire and the ball's going to be taken away from you like that. So we've seen him giving away the ball a lot of times, and I've also seen an interview with Troy Deeney where he said that we made sure that we target him a lot. Yeah. So our position players are figuring him out. They can see that he's a bit hesitant about passing the ball. And what I like about McTominay is he's just a young kid at the end of the day, and he's going to get better. So if we bring in Rice, Fred, I would just have Pogba and Bruno in there. Literally just...
Yeah, I completely agree.
Have Rice as your CDM. And Fred and McTominay, they can be your squad players. Why not? This is a whole... How many games are we playing this season? 60 games? Come on, you need your squad.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, guys. Let's not forget we also have Donny van der Beek here. What are we gonna do with Donny van der Beek next season?
You know what?
I have no idea.
At this point, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even consider him anymore. It's not even his fault. It's just one of them ones where it's like, you ain't gonna start anyway, bro. So it is what it is. But you know what? What Akil said here, I agree so much because McTominay and Fred are not defensive midfielders for me anyway. They play the position. The roles they can't execute it because they're not good at it, and they've never been good at it because that's not what they have done in their young careers coming up as professionals. So it's a bit difficult for them at times, and I understand why at times. But also I do agree sometimes with the basics, the stuff about dilly-dallying on the ball and not releasing the ball quicker. More importantly, passing the ball and flipping, moving. Sometimes they don't do that, but I do agree as a DM. They're not going to be capable as you would want them to be because they're not in that position too often. But let's go to the score predictions. We pretty much kind of said our lineups here and there. So, Usmaan, how do you? I'm going to make it a bit tricky for you. Say your score line, and I want to say how you think it's going to go. Who's going to score first, and equalize, all that kind of stuff.
Right. Okay. First and foremost, we kind of haven't really mentioned it, but my major concern is that Liverpool really are going to want this game. Like, you've seen in the past when our players go into a game and they're not. Look, it's a big game. It's a derby. Of course, they're gonna want it to. They're gonna want it. Let's just say our players have won it 90%. Yeah, Liverpool players, they wanted this game 110%. They need this game badly. Like our players and their players, intensity, mindset wise, it's going to be different because our players mentally just seem to switch off a lot of the times, and they really need an occasion for them to get up. For it, which this should be in their eyes. But my issue is with this game, Kojo, right? Just to answer your question, is Liverpool's press is going to kill us. Because let's just go through our lineup. So we've played Fred Mutombre, Bailly, Wan-Bissaka. Them 4 on the right side of the pitch or / middle is going to kill us. Like, if they start pressing us high, them 4, I don't know how they're going to pass the ball out from the back. None of them are good on the ball. Like, literally none of them. Particularly, Bailly, you saw the other day under no pressure was giving the ball away. He passed it out about 3-4 times. I was thinking, bro, I might have been too harsh with Maguire, Bailly kept passing the ball out. Wan-Bissaka as well, like, he's not good on the ball. So if they press us high up the pitch, I can see them getting joy early on. So for that reason, I'm going to say, it's not Old Trafford, isn't it? I'm going to say a draw. I'm kind of leaning more to Liverpool win, I've got to be honest. Okay. I can see them winning 2-1, but because I can't say that, I'm gonna say 1-1. Obviously 1-1 draw.
Okay. Abdi, scoreline.
Yeah. Oh man. First of all, I know I'm gonna be digressing here, but did you guys see how they put these barricades in front of the stadium?
My God, embarrassing.
It's absolutely embarrassing. You look at a club like Ajax, how they've melted pieces of the trophy, and they say we're going to give it to each individual fan. Come on, man. You look at this is what United should be about. They should be communicating. They should be in touch with the football club. Yes, I hope so. But yeah, in terms of the scoreline, I can see a 3-0 win. Honestly, I can see a 3-0 win. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Balls, right?
Okay.
Let's go for it. Let's go for it, man. Because
what?
Because one thing I realized about Liverpool this season is, and maybe guys we should talk about this, but one thing I realized about them is every time that they don't manage to score within the first 30 minutes, their heads drop a lot. They create chances, a lot of chances, and then they don't score. Their confidence goes low. So I'm saying let's attack them. Get that first goal. Their confidence is gonna be killed, and then get that second one, get that third one, and Cavani, Greenwood, and Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes. I can see these guys having
Greenwood's not starting, by the way. Just FYI, it's definitely going to be Cavani and Pogba.
Probably, yeah.
Rashford's going to be on the right.
3-0. 3-0. Okay, I like the confidence. I rate that confidence. Yusuf, scoreline.
Before I give you the scoreline, can I just say something very quickly about Fred?
Go ahead.
He's lost one game all season when he's played for Man United in the league. And that was against Arsenal. That was against Arsenal at home. 29 games, he lost one game. He's had 2 bad games. He's had 2 bad games all season against PSG when he got sent off. And actually, before he got sent off, he was actually playing really, really well. I know he should have been taken off. He was actually fundamental to how well we were playing that game. That's why Ollie kept him on. He should have gone off at half time. I agree. And then the bad game that he had, Abdi is absolutely correct in that FA Cup was at Leicester when But that happens, man. I'm not going to hold it. Yeah, it's not good enough. I agree. And by the way, I think we should have a better player than Fred. But all I'm saying is that look at the stats. I know stats can be misleading. I don't disagree, but he's a much better player than people give him credit for. When I saw him at Shakhtar over 2 legs, boss David Silva, Fernandinho, I'll never forget. I was like, wow. And after that game, they were trying to buy him, Man City, and then Ed. Yeah.
Yusuf, the Shakhtar Fred, we need to find him.
I was about to say, yeah. Why have you?
No, do you know why he was fun? Why he was so good in that team?
Long shots, long passes. Guy was hitting it.
It was with his
when we
that's why.
When we signed Fred, I said he's made the biggest mistake of his career by turning down City, because he would have been in for Pep. Oh my God. In that City team. I mean, I suppose there's an argument that you can put any team in the City team. Could you imagine that he was picked ahead of Rodri? Rodri they bought the year later, I know, but that's why I always, when I see Fred and I see the slander, I know you're not slandering him, but I'm just saying that
I do.
He's a much better player, and when he doesn't play in that team, we're not the same team. Trust me.
Yeah.
Sorry,
no, I agree with you. He's the best CDM that we have.
The thing is, I agree with everything that everybody else has said about Fred as well. So it's like that's why I'm conflicted always about him. And I like Scott McTominay as well. That's that's how I see it. I'm not biased towards any player or against any player. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Scoreline. Yeah. Sorry. I think Liverpool will win tomorrow. Actually. I think they're going to be. I think that's why I was saying to you guys yesterday why I was disappointed with the Leicester game. I have a feeling that we're so focused on the Europa League now that it's just gonna. I know people are professional and players. They're not going to knock down down tool, but
They didn't
I
down
think that-
tools, man.
Yeah, but this is Liverpool. Come
That-
on.
yeah.
I think Liverpool are good. Without Maguire as well.
I want us to be on it, man. The last 2 games, Fulham and Wolves, I don't care about those 2 games. I just want us to beat Liverpool and just knock them out this
Scrap
once and for
Fulham
all.
and Wolves, man. Scrap them.
I'm 100% with you. I
Yeah.
wish but I think that I just have a bad feeling. That's all. And I think it will be.
If you're a United player, you have to be up for this game. This is Liverpool, man.
I know,
You shouldn't even need any motivation. You shouldn't need any motivation, man. Just go for it and kill them.
I'll say this on Liverpool. So if they were to lose this game, actually let's do hypotheticals. So Chelsea are going to play.
If they lose this game.
Well, so this is what it is right now. So right now they have 2 games in hand on Leicester, but they are 9 points behind. If they were to lose, then I think it will become virtually impossible for them to overtake Leicester. Chelsea play Arsenal, which quite frankly I'm expecting Chelsea to smack Arsenal tonight. If they win that game, 10 points clear.
Chelsea have gone strong as well. They've just made 1-2 change. They've taken the keeper out. That's it tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got
strong. Yeah.
There'll be 10 points clear. Liverpool have 2 games in hand.
Liverpool have to win. To be honest,
they have to win. Essentially,
we haven't even talked about like them opening. They're gonna have to put bodies forward. We
could be high scoring game.
They've got no choice. Yeah, they've got no choice. Absolutely, they've got no choice.
They have to win.
So yeah, they're not in a position right now to drop points, as the same as West Ham United. So it's a funny one, but it's interesting. My score line, I'm going to say 2-0 to Manchester United, and I am going to say that my gunman Edison Cavani is going to get a double.
I hope so. I'll go on fantasy. I need those points, Cavani. Come on, son. Sorry.
Quickly on Arsenal and Chelsea and Arsenal, I'll read the lineups to you guys, and then we can just predict how that's going to go.
Yusuf hasn't said his score position, by the way. He just said he lost.
Oh yeah, I know it's really smack them, but still, you know. So Chelsea is Kepa in goal, Cesar Spilicueta, Thiago Silva, and Kurt Zouma in defense. Reece James and Chilwell as your fullbacks. Billy Gilmore starts again.
Okay.
Alongside Jorginho, so there's no Kante in the lineup. You have Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic, and Kai Havertz as a sort of like your false 9.
Is that their team?
That's their team.
Yeah.
What has he done there?
That's that Werner and Mendy. That's it.
With all due respect to Gilmore, but why is he playing?
I think I don't know what was Kante on the bench.
Kante's got
I like Gilmore, you know. Yeah. I like Gilmore.
Yeah, come on, they have
FA Cup final on Sunday, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got FA Cup final on Sunday, and Kante is not even on the bench either. So he's
the most important player, so they have to protect him.
It seems that he started with Mason Mount. I think that's it might be a mistake because if he gets injured, that's one of the most important players this season.
Yeah.
I would have rested him. I like Mason Mount this season.
They need to win. They have to win this game, by the way. This is
definitely.
It's a big must, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go to Arsenal's team. There's one name I've seen here already that's gonna make me laugh. So Leno's in goal. Tierney has returned.
Who's
Leno? Yeah. Tierney's back at left back. Pablo Mari and Gabriel centre back.
Okay.
Their right back is Rob Holding.
Wow.
No way. Not even Chambers. Holding. They got Cedric on the bench.
Bear in mind, Chambers, Cedric, and Hector Bellerin are all on the bench.
Oh my God.
Yo,
Bellerin's leaving, isn't he?
What is wrong with Arteta?
Oh my God, this guy has lost.
Is he okay? Is Arteta mentally okay? Like, look, by the side.
At this point,
Holding. That's not also playing bleeding Maguire right back.
I don't understand his decision making.
Like, that's not us playing Maguire. We've got Delo, we've got Williams, and we've got bloody Wan-Bissaka. And you got, I got Maguire. You play right back.
Literally. Thomas Partey and Mohamed El Nene as your central midfielders. Martin, Bukayo Saka on the right, Smith Rowe on the left, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as their strikers. So. We'll go backwards this time. Yusuf.
Oh my God. He hasn't given that out. Yusuf hasn't been into our game yet. He bottled it. He hasn't given the score.
Didn't he say
no? He just said we're gonna lose. That's it. He didn't say a score.
Oh, give a scoreline. Give a scoreline for Man United and then give a scoreline for Chelsea.
Stop bottling it. We don't like fences.
I think it could be 3-1 Liverpool.
Jesus.
Okay.
Come on, man. I know it's just a prediction, but it hurt me, man.
Love that, Abdi.
All right. Chelsea Arsenal scoreline.
Yeah, I mean, it's always funny when Arsenal lose. So yeah, I mean, I think.
Wow.
2-0 Chelsea, I think.
2-0 Chelsea. Abdi?
This is just a classic Chelsea Tuchel match. 1-0 for Chelsea. That's it. Just 1-0 and that's it. They go home.
Okay, Usmaan?
Right, that Arsenal lineup's decent, man. Holding on that overlap's going to cause problems, for Reece James or whatnot. God, why has he done that? I don't understand. I want Arsenal to win, but I don't, because that means Liverpool got a good chance.
Yeah.
But I'm going to agree with the guys. I'm going to say 3-1 to Chelsea. Holding with a goal, overhead kick.
Honestly, I'm saying Chelsea 5-1.
I don't know why we're giving Arsenal a goal. Who's going to score?
I'm going for
Saka might score.
Do you guys notice, the difference between this game? Do you guys remember when Saka, Lacazette, and Xhaka scored those 3 goals at the end?
Xhaka, Laka.
Yeah. Look at the difference of that Chelsea team and right now.
Yes, man.
It's amazing what they've gone through in that little period of time. Unbelievable.
When Arsenal first see the fixtures come out, they thought this is going to be a title decider this game. But obviously, just back to mid-table. Where you belong, boys?
Humble yourself.
Absolutely dead out here.
So yeah, all right. That's
I can't feel sorry for Arsenal fans.
I do not feel sorry for them in the absolute slightest.
That's why I said I can't.
Obviously, apart from Cahill,
if you knew the Arsenal fans being you would not feel sorry for them.
Yeah, I mean, apart from Cahill though, because Cahill's at least
nice.
he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. All right, I think we'll call it there. Because the game will start in about just under 20 minutes. Firstly, I want to say thank you to my guest. Oh, Usman's my guest. That's a bit mad, Hey,
it's an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, Usman, you know what? Plug yourself on your own channel.
Right, okay. So make sure you subscribe, drop a like, all that good stuff. This feels very weird, this. I don't know if you plugged myself, so follow me on Twitter. But yeah, honestly, I'll put everyone's links down below, actually. So, make sure you go subscribe to the boys and that. Make sure you show love to Kojo in the comments. If you watch this back on repeat, I want people to show love to Kojo. And I guess, obviously, Kojo first time, absolute pleasure, man. Really enjoyed it, man. And what's the spot? I'm blushing. Yeah, I am actually blushing. Thank
you. Abdi, plug yourself, brother.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter, AB_Haji20. Or you can follow me on my YouTube channel, the Football Philosophy Podcast. There, I've done an interview with Kojo. Make sure that you guys check it out.
Yes. And Yusuf,
thank you,
my brother. Plug yourself and don't hide your face next time, bro. I know you're buff, bro. Plug yourself, bro.
As I said, man, I say it every week. I'm new to this, man. I've only got my Twitter account. I keep changing the.
I know you changed your name again, man.
I changed that again, but
Free Chef Curry.
Steph Curry, man, he's my guy. Steph Curry's my guy. So yeah, at Free Chef Curry.
He's my guy as well. So it's so good.
That's where you can find it.
I'm Team LeBron forever, man. Team LeBron James.
King James.
And yeah, obviously,
I'm Team Scott Pippen. Sorry, I've just gone off topic.
That's good. He's a legend.
I'm a Lakers fan, but I love Steph Curry. There's something just he's unreal, man.
Fair enough, man. Can't hate on the game.
I'm gonna plug the Kojo Show because this is the Kojo Show. Obviously, from Free Midfield, but obviously every Wednesday we'll be here. We'll not just be Man United. We'll talk about all Premier League. There'll be some Serie A. There'll be some La Liga. Hell, we'll even go to the Ghanaian Premier League if we have to. You know what I'm saying? I have to back my people with them. But more importantly, thank you for watching. Thank you for showing up in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, watch all the content on this channel and all their channels as well. Well, actually, I said all their channels. Yusuf has got a channel. And Abdi's channel as well. And obviously a Free Midfield as well. And apart from that, have a good day. God bless. And in the words of me in college, work hard, eat chicken, get money.
Yeah.